So I'd like to welcome you to the Unmasked Relationship Factor Series. I am AliNICOLE WOW, also known as Majesty. And within this particular segment, I want to focus on the topic of couples that evolve together, stay together, versus couples who pray together, stay together. And I know throughout the years, this has been an ongoing, I don't want to say cliche, but sometimes it can seem like it's a cliche of families that pray together, stay together, couples that evolve together or pray together, stay together. And that is very true to a certain extent. Prayer alone, as we know, will not be enough. And especially as it relates to relationship dynamics. So the evolutionary factor is critical, but often one of the most overlooked aspects. It's the big elephant in the room that typically gets overlooked. Because within, I don't say religious structures, but in the institutionalized formats, I should say, of spirituality, or the spiritual dynamics, there's a lot of rules and regulations, systems, and different things, checklists to follow. And prayer being one of those top areas on the checklist, and it needs to be. It certainly needs to be. We hear that the prayers of the righteous avail much, and that is absolutely true. But we also have to understand what the righteous means. Righteous is right standing, right alignment in the moment with that true spiritual connection, Christ connection, source connection, God connection, however you want to see it. Being in the right, accurate, aligned state is what brings forth the results. With that comes the evolutionary journey. The act of prayer alone is not enough, just like the act of faith. We know that faith without works is dead. And we also know that prayer without the right, divine, aligned, inspired action will not be effective. Now, there are times absolutely that you need to pray and then you leave it alone. So that would be the right action taking, is to rest and be still in that, particular area that you've already prayed about, or especially if you've been praying over time. But at the same time, as you are, quote unquote, kind of leaving that situation alone and turning it over to God, there are things that you have to be doing within yourself, continuing to work on who you are, evolve your faith, evolve who you are as a person. Because people don't really fall out of love. They typically outgrow each other or out-evolve or something. The evolutionary aspect that, again, is very critical. It doesn't align anymore. Even God-ordained relationships. When one person decides to go south, and it doesn't have to be just in, ways that are not, something bad, I should say. People start to take different directions. And of course, if you're going to allow yourself to be confined to the institutionalized functioning of those frameworks, then you will find yourself having a lot of problems, because your evolution would not match where you are. It's like being an adult in a Baby Gap t-shirt you've outgrown that situation, and you cannot make yourself have an infant type of shirt on or a toddler type of shirt on when that's not who you've grown to be. And that's a hurtful process, trying to make your evolution match someone else who decided that they were not going to evolve. So the power of prayer is effective. But again, the evolutionary aspect is just as important. And I would say, if not more critical. If not more critical. So I have some other teachings on this particular topic, and I'm going to bring forth even some other guests to share on this particular area. But I just wanted to introduce this today to you, because if you have been in a situation where you've been praying and praying and praying and praying and praying and nothing's changing, and yes, sometimes it does take time for prayer to show the manifestation, okay? But there are times where you have to understand where the alignment simply isn't there anymore, and you have to look at who's evolved, who hasn't, or what do you need to do to move forward, because things can improve and they can get better, but the relationship has to be evolving, all right? Doesn't mean dismiss it, leave it. It's, can you get on the evolutionary track together and start praying in those ways, evolving your prayer life so that it can be effective and you can both move forward together if that's what the divine alignment is still calling for, all right? So again, I'll come back and do more around this particular topic. Just wanted to seed you with this for those who have never even thought about it from this type of vantage point, right? All right, so as you know, I like unmasking and talking about the uncommon subject matters as it relates to relationship dynamics. And until we can get to the real core and truth of the matter as it relates to the relationship dynamics, things simply will not improve. And you're here to have wonderful relationships, blessed relationships, but there are ways that takes place. And it's not just a natural progression without there being some work. So you plant your seeds, water them, yes, with prayer, do the nurturing of the evolutionary soul aspect, and you will see great change for sure. All right, so I look forward to being back with you soon.